Welcome to Beginner Wig Bootcamp. This is episode 11. Let's talk silk liners. What exactly are silk liners on a wig? It's important to note that silk liners and what I'm talking about today are different than silk top wigs. That's a different type of wig. Today we're going to be focusing on the liner aspect that typically goes underneath lace top wigs. Silk liners are essentially that thin piece of fabric that gets sewn into the lace top part of the wig. And they have a couple of benefits. They're really designed to help conceal the lace holes as well as the knots on the wig, and they can mimic that scalp-like effect when you're wearing a lace top wig. I have some wigs that have silk liners, aka this one, and some wigs that don't, aka this one. So it honestly just depends on the wig maker and if they provide an option to add a silk liner. I do like having silk liners. I think I kind of prefer them because number one, they can also help hide your bio hair underneath, especially if the wig hair does not match your bio hair or even does not match the rooting. It can help cover up your existing hair. For me, silk liners have to be done right. So if we take a look at this wig right here, the shape of this silk liner may look a little bit interesting, but this wig was actually cut to help with my little widow's peak that I have. So it really does support my natural hairline. If I'm going to put a silk liner in a wig, I like it to come pretty close to the hairline because a lot of the times I'll see when people put silk liners in wigs, they'll leave like a half an inch before the hairline ends, and that's where you're going to get that separation of where the silk liner starts and where the hairline ends. This is a silk liner that's been sewn into the wig that I'm working on. So you'll notice here that this comes before the denser part. So you can see kind of where the silk liner stops and also where the denser part of this particular wig stops before we start to get, again, more of that ventilated hairline. So this actually sits too far back for me. If I were to put this wig on, and I'm trying my best to show, but you'll see that there's a little demarcation here where the silk liner stops and this one ends. This is a wig that I'm working on for a fellow follower, again, helping her out locally. So I need to ventilate this little chunk here to better help her hairline. Whereas this one that I just threw on that has the silk liner built in, you'll see that there's no demarcation. So again, you can kind of see the silk liner lifting up and how it sits literally right behind the hairline. And that is how I like my silk liners to lay. Liners can also look like this as well. So this is my Hair Vivi wig. And this is actually an example of, I believe they call this like a double lined lace. I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on that and don't come for me if I'm wrong, but this basically has two layers and this is a liner as well. And it still provides the same effect where it gives you that scalp-like effect underneath, hiding all of the lace holes and any knots that may not be bleached. What does it look like if you're wearing a wig that does not have a silk liner built into it? This is my Connie Hair Candy wig. She bleaches her knots incredibly and also does amazing hairlines. This one does not have a silk liner built in. And again, in the spirit of absolute transparency, you'll notice that you can see a little bit of the lace holes here. Now, there are some things that you can do to conceal these lace holes. I've seen people use silicone scar tape. I've never had success with this because I can see the delineation, but feel free to try it yourselves. It's super cheap on Amazon. And you can also use little like chalk markers. So this is just like a light colored chalk. And you can go along the hairline here and you can fill some of this in. And again, this is, as you can see, a pretty light color. So this can mimic that scalp-like effect as well. Shout out Jen Brown for teaching me about this one. It's linked on her Amazon page. I'll refer you to her and give her a little cred where cred's due. So here's my take on silk liners. If you can get them in your wigs and you can get them sewn up to your hairline, they're a great tool. If you can't, it's no big deal, especially if your part line is pretty small. Honestly, majority of my wigs do not have silk liners and I wear them around and no one has ever been able to tell that it's a wig by like looking over me or looking at the top of my head. So that's today's lesson on silk liners. Please feel free to drop your questions in the comments and like, share, and follow for more wig tips and tricks.